Hello everyone and welcome back to the third part of HBM's Nuclear Tech Mod, a mod about building machines, reactors, bombs, and just about anything you could ever want. In this video, I build one of the largest nuclear reactors yet, and launch one of the coolest nuclear missiles I've ever seen. If you've never seen me play this mod, or just haven't seen this mod in general, I would recommend checking out the other two parts to this video, as a lot of stuff doesn't make sense even with over 200 days of experience. With all of that out of the way, let's get back to whatever I was doing before. I guess I'm back for a third time, and I have no clue as to what I'm supposed to be doing. I do have notes, and I should probably read those. Last video, I said I would get technetium. Well, make technetium. We have everything to make it now. And then as well as ferro-uranium, which is really easy to make. I just didn't make it because I'm lazy. This is not hooked up to power. That's kind of weird. How did that happen? Why don't you have power? Has there been a change to something that I'm not aware of? Box cables, which I don't recall seeing, aren't deprecated, so what's the issue? Oh no, really legacy lead acid battery, lithium ion battery. Are you serious? They store more. I'm not gonna complain about that. They store more, but man, now I have to do actual work. So this is trash. Gonna hold on to it because I like holding on to the old stuff, but I don't think that's useful anymore. The cheap batteries are all right. What I need to do is, but I can't. Can I even make the cladding at least? I need rubber. I made rubber a little bit. I'm not sure how much. 5 pieces. 5 pieces. I can increase my resistance by 0.1. That's of course if I have the string tape and slime balls. I have just duct tape. That'll be 0.2 on top of my already 2.0, and it says I can put the... Excuse me. How did you get in here? These can be applied to anything on cladding slot. Oh wow, there's a built-in slot for them. Okay, that's good to know. So then that can just go there on that one, and then on this one, I can go there. Hard to breathe. What am I holding? I'm still holding cold powder. So now, it'll be a 1.4 plus another 0.8, so 2.2. I'm not sure how good that is. I should be pretty good, along with the reachers in my inventory. So I'm going to attempt to grab these. That's a ton of radiation, but I have to test this out. I've got 2.2, I got the reachers. I do have Rad-X somewhere. If this just kills me, it did not just kill me. I'll need to see if it makes me nauseated though. No, I was wondering, I was like, why are these empty? They have no power after I turned it on earlier, but they also kind of just charge all this stuff. Barely, but that is kind of where the power is going. I want these to deplete. This one's really close to doing so. With that, I might as well make the rods. I made this whole thing. Like, I don't want to handle these rods, but unfired rods, which I don't know how you want to pronounce that. The rods that haven't been used or spent have like a 1/10, if even that, of the rad count. This iron crate is suspiciously empty. I feel like I had templates. Unless they got deleted, that's probably what happened. I recall this being... Wait. My fluid identifiers. I'm gonna have to make all of my identifiers again because Mr... Ooh, I don't know who decided they would obliterate all of my items. Well, that's fine. I need this. I need 2 compressors. I want to get these batteries up so I'm not worrying about energy storage. I need 4 motors, 16 cast steel plates. That'll be our compressor. How compact is compact? Oh no. Nothing is compact in this game. Where am I gonna put this thing? What, liquid oxygen or something? What, liquid oxygen? It doesn't even tell me how I compress it. Compressed air. Oh, yeah, that's right. I need compressed air. Nitric acid from air? I need that blueprint. What the heck? I need to explore more. Yeah, exploring. That's what I wanted to do. I know I'm stuck here. Day 4. If the sun's setting, yeah. Day 4, and I'm making compressors. Okay, a search bar works. Wait a minute. That's so smart. Let's get this hooked up to power. Not sure where you get power from. Nope, it's gotta be from the air hole. No, wait. Oh, no, it's from the front. Now, how do I get air in here? It's not steam, is it? Like, I'm not... How do I compress air? Air intake? Maybe that's what I need. I'm gonna try it, but it could be it. This will take in air. Alright, we figured it out, thankfully. Or does it have to be just straight from the intake? I didn't think about that. Did it say? Compressed air. Okay, so I might be dumb. It's good we built the compressors. I'll need them for later. But I'm gonna try this really quick. So I can turn this to liquid oxygen. 5 days to figure out something that if I had read a wiki, I would have gotten done in 5 minutes. But, I'm sure we'll have a use for compressors, and especially with 2 of them, I can have a relay of them. I'm not sure what for. I know like xenon gas or whatever that stuff's called. It'd be pretty fun to do like a chain where something goes here, then comes up, and then gets pressurized even more. Like because there is some recipes that require it to be pressurized. I just didn't know that this could literally be done like, just like that. 5 days in, and we are now back to square one. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know. I kind of figured these would be placeable. Maybe they get hooked up to something and I just don't know what or how yet. They look like blocks though. So unless they're just huge or something, I can't even place them. So looking for static energy blocks that I can put down. Capacitors. I saw this in the tips thing. It was like, if you want to store your power, instead of batteries, try using capacitors. I think I'm going to build a capacitor and I'm going to make it out of dense niobium wires. And if that's not the answer, I'm going to be mad. So I have no clue how these work. I figured they'd be like blocks and I could put them down, but I just made 2 different storage thingies. Now, is there like a power bank or something? I truly don't know. Whatever. Technetium. Can we make that? I have natural uranium fuel in here. I don't want natural uranium. I want uranium fuel. That's what we wanted. Get the natural uranium. Preferably. Kerosene. Kerosene. Let's see how we can make a bunch of kerosene so that I can load this thing up and we can make progress. But yeah, so what I'm seeing is I can literally just do this. And no matter where I'm at, I can always have a fluid template to match and fix everything, which I think is incredible. I think that's one of the best things I've seen in a while for this mod in terms of quality of life. I already have a stack of depleted uranium. Look at the technetium. 200 days to make this stuff. Not sure how much we can make, but honestly, every bar counts, so we can make a lot, actually. I think like 64 bars or something like that. I've got 30 plus 30 nuggets plus 18 depleted. This plutonium. Still natural uranium fuel. And this is part of the Xernox fuel. So the plutonium also makes technetium as well as more reactor grade plutonium. Hey. Pigman. What? You know what? Since we're here, ferrouranium. I might as well make it. I've got the steel, don't I? Now ferrouranium is probably a process. And what do I want this in? I guess bars. I don't really care. I can just remake it if it fails, so should work. And there's 8 blocks, 7 blocks. Ferrouranium, I'm not sure the importance of. It's good, but it's not like crazy. Ferrouranium is kind of useless. It might actually be useless to me. No, it's... Oh, am I nauseous? What am I Oh, whoops. So that should be 6 days. This should be the sunrise of day 7. 7 days to figure out these 2 metals and then what the plans are to make Saturnite, and then Star Metal, as well as fully, like, completing the refinery, at least a majority of it. We need more power, really. More power. I want to make the PWR's a recycling plant, apparently. Wait, no, it's not. The what? Wait, what uses pellets? What uses fuel pellets? Oh, they're just for recycling. Okay, well, I would probably sound really dumb if I kept that part of me talking about this earlier. I could attempt the multi-block structure, but I also think what would be smarter for me is to make the watts, or I make an RBMK. There's also a guide for this. The chances are I want to make the watts, but if it is possible, I'll also try to make like a small RBMK because that is modular as well. Yeah, there's a lot of words here. So I spent a rather long time just reading through the information given by the mod, and man, there was a lot of stuff. I've probably spent a good 15 minutes just trying to get a grasp of what it was telling me to do with what. But when I start building this, you'll see my explanation of what everything does, but do know I am not educated in this stuff, so I couldn't even understand myself half the time. By day 209, I began to make a little side expansion to my base. This reactor was a rather large structure that could scale as large as I wanted it to, but for now it wasn't going to take too much space. On day 211, I had gathered as much of the required blocks and materials that I knew of and prepared to build the RBMK. Alright, this is probably going to go really bad because I haven't read a thing. I actually still have quite a bit of stuff to make, but I have the concrete. I have 15 blocks of graphite. I think I need a little more than that. I believe graphite moderator. Yeah, 4 blocks for one. And right now this is processing all of my copper. Once I have that ready, then I'm not being stopped by anything. Still don't know what these are for. They've been here this whole time. I have no clue how the Chicago pile works. But we figured out how to work past that. Just about every fuel I can think of. I did get the Geiger counter. A ton of people kept telling me to make that. It's useful. Tells me my radiation and like the resistance percentage, which yeah, like I said, 1.0 is like 90%, and then like 2.0 is like 99%. I think with this full set of armor, when I have the reachers in my inventory, it doesn't really change, but maybe that's like something outside of the Geiger counter's reading. But this has a total of 2.2 because of the cladding, I believe that's what it's called, that I put on there. I believe I only have lead cladding on there too. I didn't even do dash, so I bet it could go even more. But it's like 99.4%, which is good. It means I can handle full loads of depleted rods. And I'm gonna need that armor as well as this will get fixed in a moment. So I did a bunch of reading in the game, not on the wikis. I don't want to look at the wikis if I don't have to, or any guides. I kind of just want to figure it out, and if it blows up, it blows up. And a bunch of that reading is trying to get me to figure out this whole flux thing. So nuclear rods dispense flux, or they create neutron flux, and it's emitted in the 4 linear directions, cardinal directions as it calls it, to a range of 5 blocks. Now, if I have a mod, and this is going to be hard to explain, and I don't even know what I'm talking about myself, so if I am saying something wrong, you're just going to have to unfortunately deal with it. I have to convert the flux made by the fuel, which is fast flux, into slow flux, and the only way to do that is with moderators or with moderated fuel channels. The only difference between a moderated fuel channel and a regular fuel channel is this moderated fuel channel kind of takes the moderator and puts it in the fuel channel, so it's like a 2-in-1 thing, so I don't have to make this more complicated. Unfortunately though, the more advanced, easier stuff requires bismuth, and bismuth requires me recycling RBMK fuel rods, as far as I am aware, in the Silex. Which is good, because you know what? I wanted to actually use my Silex, and I think I needed to pressing briquettes for more graphite. But I think once this is set up, we can take this big machine and all the power that's in it, which, I mean, 20 million is a lot for me at the moment, because I'm kind of just scraping by with how much my ore machine is taking. I just really need this to process copper, though. Well, I'm gonna wait till daytime, but I don't want to waste time by sleeping. I've got my cast steel plates. I've got 40. Not sure. I need 4 per column. And steel shells. Okay. Well then, I'm going to take a bunch of this. Probably 18 blocks seems fitting enough. Actually take them out of the furnace, and I don't know why I did that. This only makes 1, right? Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Might as well start making them. These are used for everything, and 15 by 15 is what, 225, I think? I know math, so we're not making it that big, but I'd like to at least get a majority of the materials required. So it'll be a stack of these 2 stacks of this, and then neutron reflectors that we need. Oh, this is already done. Oh, okay. And I gotta think. Fuel channel. Fuel channel, you put the rods in. Rods fire or activate, whatever. They react, and they emit neutron flux. Fast neutrons. Fast flux or something like that. Then, that flux needs to be moderated. Graphite moderators. That'll take the neutrons. I don't know why I said flux. They'll take the fast neutrons, turn them into slow neutrons. Steam channel is where I believe water flows through, gets boiled, and then exits as steam. So these want to be around our fuel rods, but the issue with... I'm trying to just figure out where the moderating comes in. I don't think time advances while I'm reading. Oh, it might be advancing while I'm reading. So we want steam channels, and then there's like a little connector at the bottom for those steam channels. We need to make that as well. Neutron reflectors are useful for redirecting neutrons. So I'm gonna do a single fuel channel. I'm gonna start with 1, and then I'm gonna figure out from there how this is supposed to work. Now, I won't obviously like try to wing this without saving beforehand, so if it does blow up, not as much of a risk. Boring that way, I know, but at the same time, resetting all my progress is a little more boring. Oh my gosh, this thing goes a little bit higher than I thought it would. So I've got 4 steam channels. These will take water and they will burn it or evaporate it to make steam, right? I think they can share this line as long as I provide them with a big enough tank and enough water in general. That should be good. Then down here, I can take super dense steam. I can actually just start with regular steam. I might just do dense. This is so cool. I'm gonna try dense. And if dense is way too hot and I'm way too dumb, then you know what? It's whatever. It really just depends on how hot this thing gets. I think with a single slot, I probably shouldn't have to worry. What do I have dense on? Super dense. Is that what that is? Regular, dense, super dense, ultra dense. So in theory, water will go into the columns. It'll boil, it'll go back down into here, and then it'll come out as super dense steam, at least according to the description of the connector, which states both water and steam connections at the bottom. You place a water pipe below the column, then the connector. Never mind, there's words. The placement of the connector is important. Directly below the component, place one pipe set to the type of the input fluid. Below it, place the steam connector. Okay, so we're good. Then place a pipe with the output fluid below that. The worst part is, there's a chance that I'm just doing this all completely wrong. I want my moderators right. It's like that. So 4 reflectors. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if it works. You're just gonna have to trust the process. I want this. This has been an endeavor, to say the least. I don't even know if I can make these steam turbines. Oh, hey, new turbines. Yeah, that's great. Hopefully I don't do this again. but it's only the night of 314. It didn't take me too long to get everything set up again. We need to make like a big walkway up, and if I really am dedicated, make like a whole thing, but I'm not. I didn't expect this to be so tall. I knew it was 4 blocks tall from this, but this whole configuration makes it a lot larger than intended. Now, I don't know why I came over here to talk about my stuff when my stuff's not ready. We need the assembly. Turbines are done. My battery is on its last legs. How big are these? Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to make power or store power then. Whether through capacitors, which I've made both the capacitor and the actual battery blocks. I don't know how to store power anymore. I have batteries. I figured those would be it. I have capacitors. Battery socket allows battery items to be connected to the power grid directly. So, okay, if I take my batteries, will they... There we go. Okay, I that took me way too long to figure out. Awesome. That's actually good to know. So, I think the niobium capacitor is the... Well, I don't know how priority works with these. The other one had like a whole priority thing. Oh. It's literally right there. So charge priority for the niobium one would be better because it's got a higher discharge rate. Yes, of 100,000. I'm gonna have to dig out a few of these. Wait, I have a new pickaxe. The newer pickaxes, I figured they'd all be unbreakable from Dash onward, but it looks like Dash is like uniquely unbreakable. There's probably more unbreakable pickaxes, but I don't have them. Yeah, I'm not reading anything on that console. So dumb. Let's take this fuel column right there. I have this whole setup for one fuel column. Now remember, I have no way of moderating. Oh, I do have moderators, but I don't have any control rods. So either this works or it doesn't. And then we will make our fuel rod. So because I never looked this up or have done it prior, I made a backup, which is cowardly, but at the same time, it's no different than me just, say, like, going into creative and testing it out or looking at a YouTube video on how to do it. Still on super dense. They're all on super dense. There's reflectors at the ends to bounce the neurons back, or whatever the heck it was talking about. I've got a moderator to turn the fast neurons, or it's not neurons, that's your neutrons, right? Neutrons. And it says that blanks are only for aesthetics. So this should work. I don't see why it wouldn't. This fuel rod will make heat. That heat will go out in the heat dispels everywhere, but the neutrons go in like straight vertical or horizontal lines. Those will turn into slow neutrons. They'll hit the reflectors. They'll come back. I'm not sure if they do that indefinitely or if they just like dissipate after a certain amount of time. I don't know how they get absorbed. This charges the quickest. Chances are it probably goes by what's closest in the power line, so that will charge first. I mean, I can set the priority. This will be a high priority because it dispenses the fastest, and these two will be... Oh, I'll do this one medium or normal. But I'll make sure this one charges first because this one discharges the quickest, and that way we're getting power out, and the extra power will just store into these. Now I think I can literally just put this in here. What's happening? I don't know. Monitor. How do I turn this on? Do I have to turn it on? Split more effectively. Maybe splitting is referring to them hitting each other. Maybe I didn't need the moderators. I don't know. So I'm thinking that moderators are only used in instances where there's two rods and they both go to each other. The fuel rod will capture neutron flux, but it shows that they disperse it on their own. Wonder if I'm required to have at least two rods. Well, technically I only need one, right? I have one here that dispenses neutrons or whatever. they will go into here, and then this will dispense its stuff, or it dispenses flux. It's it's a neutron source. I'm gonna make one of these beryllium rods, and then as well as that, another control or fuel rod holder. And I'm going to experiment with something. I didn't know it needed a flux source. That's what the whole Chicago pile thing was about too. I had no idea what it was. So this fuel rod will dispense flux up to a range of 5, which is in range, and it's a linear function, so I think it stays the same all the way throughout. So we need to take this thing and run it up there for it. Yeah, it's very loud. It's also already heating up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bring her up then. Oh my gosh, this is gonna kill me. Oh no. And I'm sick. I may I may have messed up a little bit. Okay, this is really loud. Get out of my... I'm already dead, I know. So, before I just kick the bucket, I guess this needs to be fully encased, and I'm gonna have to restart this because this kind of just killed me. I'm just gonna set that to 100 and just full send it. Core temperature is rising. Weird. Are we even making power off of this? We're not. Which is making me think that, we did this wrong. Because this is just heating up and doing nothing. No fast flux, tons of column heat, and yet these aren't getting any heat. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, this is awful. This is about to melt down and probably blow up on me. I've irradiated my entire base and the entire surrounding environment. I think I'm like dead, or at least about to be. So that's building heat up, but okay, now that was blood. So I think before I gross myself out even more, we're just going to, yeah, okay. So it turns out trying to build a reactor from scratch with limited resources and knowledge wasn't the smartest idea, but I'm also not known for having smart ideas, so I guess that checks out. After the reactor leaked, as it's called, I went back to the imaginary drawing board trying to figure out what happened and how to prevent it. As it turned out, there was these covers I was supposed to place on top of the columns to prevent radiation from leaking. There wasn't anything mentioned in the mod as far as I'm aware, but I could be wrong, so I made some of these glass covers so that I could still see the reactor while keeping it safe. At this time, I also made enough columns to support 5 fuel rod channels as opposed to 2. This way I could make a decent symmetrical design and maybe generate enough heat to actually make some steam. By day 229, I was ready to try again. And another thing to add, I for some reason kept typing my days in the 300s. Not sure why that was. Not that that's ever been too big of an issue. Anyways, back to what I was doing. We have power. Oddly enough, I think the Xernox actually stored power rather well. I think the reason why maybe it wasn't holding power was because that's like a deprecated thing. I don't know. But I've got enough stores to run things for a little while. Sun's rising, it's 3:29. It's gonna be an entire episode of setting up my RBMK. Oh my gosh. This is less than a rad per second. It's literally 2 rads a second. So, well, I need to swap out my armor anyway, but I'm a little safer while holding this. So the attempt that I'm going to try now is to very quickly take this and swap it with this. It's supposed to like start a chain reaction of sorts. Temps going up, column heats. Oh my goodness. It's not hot, but we might actually have gotten somewhere. Yeah, no one really explained that. So I guess if you do plan on using the beryllium, oh, it glows. I wonder what that looks like at night. Really excited about, look at it, it's shooting up. And the little flux amount here is even lower. But I don't think, I think that's flux. I don't remember. I doubt it. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Look, they still have xenon poison in them, despite reacting way quicker and way hotter. It is decreasing, but I am excited to see what happens once these hit 450 plus. I am even more excited that the... Oh, I made so many. I only need one, like, ever, realistically. I can't exactly split it, so I would have to put these in, like, their own little thing just to deplete them. What are we hitting? We're about to hit 450. Power? Barely? 350 super dense steam is crazy. It's really not that much, but compared to the thing that would only make 70, that's 5 times as efficient. I have no way of shutting this down, by the way. I believe I can just drop the control rods, but I honestly want these to deplete. The faster they do, the better. Alright, it took a long time, and I did my best to not look at any guides, but ultimately I did cave in, but they didn't help at all. What did help was reading one little thing in the wiki that said, the beryllium rod is terrible for your reactor. It doesn't produce, well, what it says is it doesn't produce significant heat nor flux. It is meant to start up a reactor and immediately be replaced by an actual fuel rod. That's so, I would say that's embarrassing, but at the same time, I mean, what did I know? I just kind of figured that's how it worked. But we're making power now. These are absorbing it, no problem. Yeah, they're stable. Water. I heard that I needed to check on this. It's not moving. That's awesome. Working at 5% efficiency, but we could definitely get those numbers up once we get better fuels. And once we start depleting things, we'll get even better fuels on top of that. Now, I don't know what happens when these deplete. I don't care to find out, but we're making power. That's all I wanted this entire video, basically, was to get power to start making my machinery again. And we've got that. And with that, I can actually retire the Xernox reactor. Alright, guys. Well, it took a third of the video, which I've stopped caring about the day counter at this point. Not day counter, but just the amount of time things take. I just kind of got to suck it up. Yeah, look, the flux is... I keep saying flux, I'm not sure what that is. It's lower, but at the same time, the temp is way hotter. Dude, so many people are going to be mad, but really, I didn't know. Alright, I need to start turning on my refineries and stuff so this power's not going to waste. It might even still be, like, not enough power. I might need plutonium RBMK rods. Medium enriched plutonium, or highly enriched uranium was one of the ones they recommended. Anyways, so we're working again. I'll have to see how this thing keeps up with our power usage. And I'm going to close up the... Yeah, we kind of ruined... Get out of here. That's why I don't wait till nighttime. This Luck of the Collector sword has been great for the drops that I need, but it's also been very annoying for the drops I don't need. The amount of crowbars I could have... Oh, we're topped out. We're topped out, and I have all my my main machinery running. So yeah, I'm going to work on expanding the refineries now. I have a lot of machines I can make with the power that we are making now, which is pretty comparable. The only difference is it lasts way longer. I want to process the rest of the waste because there's a lot, and that plutonium is expensive. I just need a ton of kerosene. Nitric acid, I believe. I kind of just have this going for a while. I need more niter, but niter's not an issue. As you can see, I made like a little relay because I wanted to automate it, but I don't really care. It's kerosene that's the issue. At least I think. That, or I shut off the valve for it. Nope, it's actually out. So we'll have to make a bunch of that. However, thanks to our new reliable... near indefinite power source, I think we're okay. So now that the RBMK was finally working, I couldn't really progress through the mod without the rods in that reactor depleting, and since I didn't want to wait around for who knows how long, I decided to go exploring for structures instead. I did install a mod for waypoints so that I could go to and from my home base at any time. At this point, I also started crafting the meteorite sword with its like 15 steps and got it upgraded to the etched stage, which allowed it to do like 25 damage. That was the last upgrade I got, however, as the next one required an irradiation channel on my RBMK reactor, and I had no clue how that stuff worked. But it was definitely a good weapon to replace my cobalt blade for now. I went out on day 233 or so to go explore and scrap some stuff for steel. If I recall, I found a radio tower, which was pretty nice for materials, but when I went home to drop off my loot, I came back to my base irradiated yet again, and my reactor in more pieces than it was supposed to be. I had no idea as to why this happened, but my guess was that the chunk loading drones were only loading parts of the reactor, causing it to bug out and explode. That or the water loop didn't have enough water. Either way, I installed a chunk loading mod and that solved the issue. So on day 234, I wanted to go look at this structure I found. Raining. Did it seriously just... Dude, I hate just randomly loading this game in. What was that? Meteor, I'm assuming? Okay. I need to stop lagging. It all looks normal to me. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It's generating, like, power that I don't need, but I'd rather it just sit there and generate. As much as I would want to conserve the rods, I need them to deplete. I'm sure there's probably, like, some little thing, like, safe thing I can do to deplete them. But, the way they're depleting now, dude, it is so slow. I've got no clue. I think, technically... You can, okay, nice spelling. Can disassemble them even when they're partially depleted, which I might do for progression. Yeah, these are depleted 1%, right? Oh, brand new. Well, what about light usage? What would these be called? Barely depleted, right? Just still a long time. These can be turned into, nothing useful, apparently. You get plutonium and uranium fuel back, but what about fully depleted? Is there a reason? Not much of a reason to... Okay, this rain is rather loud, but I set up my audio tracks again, so that shouldn't be an issue. I completely forgot about that the other day. I also don't know if I explained it, but which one is H? No, HUD. There we go, V. So... Apparently, I forgot the armor had an enemy HUD bonus, so every time I press V, I can, like, turn on the health bars of mobs, which I think is useful. And apparently zombies have, like, random health bars. Some have, like, I don't know how much health, like 40 or 50, but this acidized meteorite sword is pretty good. And once we get, I believe we need to irradiate it, which involves putting it in the reactor that we have built. I need the irradiation channel. At least that is my guess. Not expensive. I'll just need to see how it works so I don't blow this thing up on accident. I'm betting I can just put it here to the side somewhere and just have it work like a filler rod. So anyway, what was I saying? I found something while running around. Aside from the huge amount of glyphid eggs, I have enough for any lodestones that I could ever want. I've been kind of looking for structures to scrap steel from, steel scaffolding and poles. All of that is used for like let's take the fracking tower, for example. Maybe not the fracking tower, for example. Is it the cooling tower? Yeah, like the cooling tower, 32 scaffolding. I mean, lots, reactor, supercooler. This is pretty cool stuff. Of course, I need welded technetium plates, and I believe just making one of those plates would drain all 3 of these batteries, and we're still not producing anywhere close to what we should be. I'm thinking in order to deplete these faster, they need to generate a higher heat, and they're only at half. the core temp anyway, and the skin temp is at like a sixth of the melting point. So I'm thinking if I get a fourth turbine and I unlock ultra dense, if I unlock ultra dense steam, well, not unlock, but if I swap this over to that, we should make a way more power. It should run way hotter, and it'll deplete the rods faster. Look at the amount of iron I've got going on. I'm maxed out on titanium, which is a big problem. I need a combinator. I need a combinator, but I don't have enough slots for a combinator. Yeah, the plates get used. It does get used a bunch, but it's out of my, the MIDI environment suit. I believe that's for space. And a lot of people said to get the space expansion. I'm not sure if that is like something I should get now, like if it affects the game as it stands, or if it's just like solely space related. I'm not in a bad spot. I don't really need more content, I guess I should say. So the space expansion, I'll get that when it comes to actually getting close to that stuff. Even the launch platform, I need to farm and scrap steel because a lot of this stuff isn't gonna happen unless I do that, or unless I set up the bedrock ore machine. I'm trying to take things on one at a time though. All right. I wanted to go explore. It's daytime. I mean, now with the glyphid eggs, it's easy, but not a big deal. Anyway, I found this little encampment, compound, whatever you want to call it. That gun is actively shooting. I didn't think it was. I have decent armor. I don't know if that thing is player friendly. I don't care to find. Okay, that's good to know too. I might be stepping into something that I shouldn't be. Blocks. I just put away the 2 stacks of cobblestone I had on me. I've got nothing. I've got oak wood. Just because I think I'm about to just get absolutely shot. Oh well. Are you gonna shoot me? Big silo. Hello? Oh my gosh, dude, that's so loud. Oh, oh, I'm on asphalt. Or tarmac, whatever. Dude, what is going... I think if I'm quick enough, I'll get it, but it's gotta look away. Because it does have a turn speed, right? That or I get into its inventory and steal... Bro, this thing is ruthless. Okay, first off, how much damage, dude? You don't do any. You're just annoying. Oh, I should have had Silk Touch on. I'm not sure if I was able to keep that or not. That might have just been decorative to prevent you from taking from it, though. Not too bad. I should have definitely used Silk Touch to see if I could pick that up, but I couldn't access the inventory, so I'm assuming that I was unable to... I hear something, but I'm not sure if it's in-game or not. Oh, we're gonna have a fun time here. And yes, I am stealing the concrete because every block helps, and the less work I have to do building is the less work I have to do grinding and spending time not actually playing the game. Well, crafting simulator is the whole game. I'm gonna take this. Whoa, I really need this. I'm just gonna uproot the tarmac, asphalt, tarmac. I don't know. I guess they're kind of this. They're not the same thing, but they're kind of the same category. Are they actually in the same category? I don't know. Yep, this is why I wanted to go out and explore. Was just so I could steal blocks to save time on my half, so I didn't have to like go and make all this stuff that I can't. I believe these are conserve crates, or yeah, I think it's conserve, unless there's like a special way to pronounce that. I heard a ton of mines set up though, so I feel like once I get into this compound of sorts, whatever this might be. I'm in for a fun time. Now, this could be like a dungeon. I know those are things in this game. I was about to say, this is a... Oh. Oh. That's what this is. I can launch that at something. I'm not sure what, but I've got the tools to do it. I have the if I find the launch code down here, which I bet I will, this looks to be like a missile silo site or whatever you want to call it. From killing zombies and my fancy cobalt sword, I have all of the code pieces. Okay. Dude. Is everything down here trying to kill me? All right, do I have silk touch on? Silk touch doesn't matter. Laboratory glassware takes boron glass, I think. I'll just take that for that reason alone. Hey. Quiet. Ring pool. Hands. Keys. We'll just take this out and just take the crate. I can indeed break down filing cabinets, and they make at least 2 steel plates apiece. I just have to deal with the junk after, but, I mean... You know, nothing I can't just throw into a pile. Get in their filing cabinets, and books, and paper, and glassware. Okay, let's not get jumped by any more guns. I've tried using silk touch on them. They don't seem to want to be picked up. So I'm not going to, what's the word? Worry about it. Old CRT screen. That tells me super expensive and it is recyclable. Not really good. I guess a RAID tube is annoying to make. Oh, it's a radio transmitter. I really shouldn't press random levers, but that looks decorative, so it certainly wasn't decorative. It was probably for the receiver. Speaking of decorative, oh, this is a different room. I passed this on my way in. Oh wow, I really just skipped past this room, probably because of the sentry that was shooting at me. That leads to the rocket. This also leads to the rocket. Oh, and my inventory is filled with an interesting array of things. Okay, there's another door, there's stairs. These are where I came down. I'm very smart. Let's just go layer by layer. I guess I'm keeping the bobblehead. Conspiracy. Okay, those are jokes we can put in the video, I'm sure. Shining armor polish. That seems pretty useful. Yeah. Is there a reason why this exists? Or is it literally just a gag? Of course it makes... and I have to keep this, don't I, to make flame war in a box. Let me not dwell on that. I don't care for any of this stuff. Ah, 3 more conspiracy theories, just what I wanted. I'm sure YouTube won't mind what's in my inventory, it's all good. Also, this is a lot of effort for what I'm pretty sure only takes like 4 iron plates. Not iron plates, steel plates. Oh, okay, maybe a little more than that, 8 steel plates. Well then or 8 steel bars. I guess it's worth keeping then. I, however, am already out of room. I'm gonna have to think about either throwing stuff away or going back, get more stuff. Sounds like it's raining again. I didn't know clocks stacked. Pretty weird, I have 2. Creeper in here. Not an issue. Another suit battery is good. Those stack? Yes, they do. That was not cool, bro. Unless there's actually a creeper down here. I hate you. Electric furnace. Takes beryllium. I like beryllium, so I'll just keep the furnace for now. I'm going to use a second steel crate and start putting garbage in here too. The toaster. The radium self-charging battery. That's actually not bad. 200. That's 2 wood burning generators. It's the brown toaster that gives us a chance of Alexandrite. And the painting of a cartoon pony. Because that's a part of nuclear tech, I assure you. All in this room, or at least a bunch of it. In the bathroom, of course it is. Wonderful. Thankfully nothing in the hopper, that would have been bad. Okay, I'm assuming this stuff's on the floor beneath me or something. That's getting annoying. Which is exactly why I've been... Oh my gosh, I saw those on the floor too. Looked at them and ran into them. Alright, these blow up no matter what, unless you have a diffusing device. There's something behind these. Is that a tantalum? A star metal crate? Star metal crate? What do I do with this? I bet it's a gag. I bet I don't do anything with it. That or I open it. I'm gonna see at home though. That's pretty awesome. Safes. I believe you can open those with the... Wow. I didn't have to make a missile. There's just one in here. Small fuel tank. You know how convenient the short-range designator would have been? All of this stuff, I should have found this earlier. Should have just been more vigilant. Iron anvil, another toaster. This is a iron toaster, which is the cheapest version, but I mean, toasters are toasters. Which is a weird thing to say in a mod about nuclear tech. I'm gonna keep bringing that up. Okay, we got a star metal crate, which I think is probably good. I'm not at the bottom floor. There seems to be 3 more layers if you count the one that the rocket stands on. Which I am, so 3 more layers. This is the green layer. Seems to have most of the mobs in it. This is a questionable room to sit in. I'll check that one last. Gosh, man. I am saved by the fact that those don't break blocks. Because if they did, I'd be in a very bad spot. Now, what is this? This lead? Lead deco? I mean... Alright, this layer was kind of... Oh, I didn't go in here yet. Box barrel, static fluid barrel. I'm not sure what that means. But I will hold them. Kerosene fuel barrels. I should see... They are static fluids, so maybe you can't extract from them, but I wonder if there's a way I can break them down to get the kerosene out. Is it interchangeable? Is that what that means? 10,000 kerosene in one of these? See, this shows 1 arrow, but this shows interchangeable, right? So I just have to figure out how to empty it. Oh, maybe the fluid tanks, when you fill them up with kerosene, they just turn into kerosene barrels like this. That's 50,000 kerosene. Do you know how much of that I have at home? I don't really care about a flow gauge pipe. Really, I don't care about the other pipe too, but I'm just going to take them because why not? I'm here, I might as well. Alright, that floor was pretty lame, apart from the barrels. I'm going to see if I can take those apart. If I can... Of course there's a creeper down there. Of course there's a creeper down there. Why wouldn't there be? Alright, a sealed away door, which means that this is going to hurt and potentially kill me. Mines. Ooh, super secret. Oh, this I bet this is where the silo uranium 238. 238 is inactive, right? That's like the mid one. I believe so. Yeah, it's low value. The Neptunium nuggets, however, I think radioactive barrel. What do I do with the radioactive barrel? I can deconstruct it into nuclear waste. Not open safes. Oh, that one's locked. I haven't checked any of the safes, actually. Is this book and quill written in it? No. I'm gonna put that with this stuff. This is asphalt. You know what? Oddly, it looks like there is. Oh, this one was open too. I didn't even notice. What was in this one? Lead acid battery. It's not great, but it's not bad. Safes don't stack because this one's locked. We are finding stuff of middling quality. There's a couple things that look pretty good that I do want to check out. What was down here? I mean, putting a secret on top of a secret isn't like a crazy big thing. Awesome. I can't wait to figure out what that does if I ever use it. Okay, pretty cool. Missile is locked in launch position. Releasing may cause damage to the missile. Damaged missile cannot be put back into launching position. This is the big one, the Doomsday missile. Damaged Doomsday missile. Not launchable. It needs the launch code key and then the actual key, as well as a designator. I want to launch this. And we could probably do that by the end of this video. We're lucky. Now, is there going to be any more secrets I don't know about? I hope not. Not bad. Not a bad spot. I got a couple things we can open up and look at, and then I will go off and search for more stuff after I finish organizing and all of the important stuff. Is my reactor in one piece? It has, in fact, not blown up. Temps are 461, 6% depletion. All is good here. Really quick, I got a lead acid battery. It's not a big improvement, but it is an improvement, so I will take it if I can find it. Gosh, it doesn't charge, like, it's not a fast charge rate. Oh, I guess it doesn't, it's kind of bottlenecked at 10,000 per second, or tick. Chances are I need, like, the counterfeit keys. I'm gonna try that because I do have, I'm gonna take the locked safes out, set them on the floor. I'm going to disorganize them, I guess that might be the word to say. This one's locked. Only two are locked, it seems. Now for the worst part of going out and exploring, I have to spend like half the day organizing 5 more kerosene barrels. If I can extract that kerosene, I can actually start. I'm gonna try that right now, actually, because if I can get the PWR, Purex, not the PWR, that's a ways away. If I can extract these, perfect. That's 100,000 right there. That means I need to go explore even more, because kerosene's a pain to get a hold of because of me not processing heavy oil yet. So that's good, and we get the 10 steel tanks back, which is awesome. Dust is kind of just like scrap. I don't care. All right, that wasn't too bad. I have 2 safes to open, so I'm gonna make a pair of counterfeit keys. Key imitation kit. Use on a locked container to... Oh, locked container. Well, I think I can still do that. So I need 2 dash powder, 4 gold plates. And now I don't know if this works, by the way. I'm just kind of guessing. Use on a locked container to create 2 counterfeit keys. In configuration 317. There it is. Silo launch key. Now I need to... Oh, I need to do that again, don't I? Oh, it doesn't use the screwdriver. Duh. Okay. I mean, a 50 cal, a 50 BMG is probably good. Probably hard to make anyway. I don't know, I haven't tried making ammunition quite yet. It's probably simple, but I mean, a head start's good. Silo launch key is going to stay in my inventory. along with in configuration 861. Then the copies will go in the template crate because I don't have space for them. I already lost where the other one went. I think I just dropped it and threw it on the floor somewhere. I cannot open these without those, though. Oh, there it is. It feels empty. Okay, it's good that it tells you. And these are going to go... I'm going to have a crate. And it's just going to be for storing crates. Which I think is a genius idea that's never been thought of before. I'm going to put the keys in there, too. I don't have to think about it. Now, I did have 8 steel crates. I think I put them, yep, right there. Also in the crate that stores crates, except for one of these, because I need my looting crate, which I'm going to turn into a desk crate, because I really need a second desk crate. What I do need is more pipes, and I'm going to hook up my oil. And what I'm going to do is... And I figured I probably should have done this a while ago. But, is set up a pipeline that connects the storages, so instead of having drones do the dirty work. I'm not sure if this does take crude oil, or if it has to come out of the side. I'm going to find out, and I already did the hard part, so it should be easy to adjust. This one, though... Yeah, I think it needs to come out of the side, which, like I just said maybe a moment ago, not an issue because it's, like, right there. I love it when something that used to be annoying is, like, simplified. Crude oil fluid duct. And once I set up the other half, that should share, and we will be good on both processing oil processing plants, which I'm surprised I didn't think of this earlier. I'm not sure why. Usually it ties to me being dumb, but there we go. Then we do that. And that will split. I'm not sure how they distribute, if they just share like a half amount, like this has 168, that one also has 168. Yeah, okay, so they just even out. But because of that, this will now fill up the boilers and everything for... Whoa. What are you doing? Alright, that's that. Just a quick little thing I wanted to get out of the way. Alright, I need a crate opening device known as a crowbar. Please tell me this opens into something. I think I just got hit by a cancer creeper. The asbestos creeper, I'm not sure what it's called. But it's a good reminder that I should light this place up a little bit. Which I never did, because I figured I'd get like the really cool lampposts and stuff. But yeah, I have a lot of dark spots in this base that I for some reason have never addressed. So there we go. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. A ton of bullets. I probably could have gotten something better, but free stuff is free stuff, and I did kind of find that in a relatively surface level zone area, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it wasn't really that scary. Not gonna have enough space for all this ammo though. All right, day 339. That is it for that little exploration. I will go out again and see if I can find like a dungeon or something, but that's pretty good. Since I had to wait so long for the reactor fuel to deplete, there wasn't much I could do besides trying to expand the RBMK to make it run hotter, or to just go exploring. I figured I would do both and set on finding more stuff to scrap. Throughout this expedition, I found some interesting things, like a crashed plane and more random buildings, but I also found what I am assuming was a crashed spaceship. These were pretty good structures as they were made almost entirely out of steel deco blocks, and on top of that, they had some PWR or power components, superconducting coils, and a bunch of other things I could repurpose. However, not only was the ship itself a good haul, but these also had loot inside of them, which had more superconductor components, some nuclear fuel cells, and a whole bunch of pretty nice stuff. And it was a good thing that these ships had what they did, because I then proceeded to find another one next to a crater in a desert. And that one had another one just behind it. So I found 3 of these ships total. By day 244, I had about a stack of steel blocks. So I was pretty set to expand upon my reactor and whatever else at the time. By day 246, I was done exploring for a little while and wanted to see what I got over the 6 or so days I spent looking for stuff. Alright, this is the night of 345. I think I'm going to put a pause to looting for a little bit. As you can see, 40 steel plates, 52 blocks of steel, another stack of steel after that. If we come over to here as well, I've got 21 cast steel plates. I've got so much steel now. Until I don't, but I mean for now I do, so that's good enough for me. As you can see, I've got 7 lead acid batteries, ton of scrap, which I need to learn the use for. I believe they are just kind of trash, but it's not why I'm talking really. I have a ton of crates, and I have this like cool little book I wanted to open up, as well as all of these signal flares, just to see if we get anything that is good. I have these conserve crates. I believe that's just canned food, but maybe I'll get Radaway. Actually, I did get Radaway from the last flare container, or crate, supply crate that I got, so yep, I guess I'm gonna start with the conserve crates. I don't think there's anything special with these. I mean, they could be decorative. What do you expect anyone to do with all this? Regeneration 2 and Resistance 3. Maybe there's something more to these than I realized. If they are like potions, I'd say it's pretty cool. I'm going to keep the pool and the cannon here because chances are I'm going to be maybe drinking and or eating a lot of that stuff. What's this green mushroom stew? Is that a canned black hole? Made from actual singularities. In China, Chinese food is just called food. Phenomenal. I guess there is buffs with like all of these. I just don't know what. Condensed horse slime. I'm not reading all that again. Just realized a little bit ago. How do I get bismuth nuggets? The Purex makes it from power rods, but I can't get power rods or the Watts machine until I'm making like crazy power. So I don't think I actually get anything for this rod that I need anyway. I get plutonium and I get uranium fuel, and then 235 waste, which I can turn into cesium. I'm not saying that. Plutonium, strontium iodine. Ah, okay, I found it. So if we take the okay, let's go back, because I do need to know this stuff if I ever want to actually progress in this game. You take apart this rod past 80% depletion, which is probably when I'll take the rods out because I want to do this as quick as possible. It gives me 8 pellets. I put these through the Silex to get uranium fuel and reactor grade plutonium, and then there's the chance of 235 nuclear waste. The long-lived nuclear waste can be combined into long-lived, and I can run that through a Silex for extra ingredients, like I guess 240, 239, and then Neptunium, or I can put it into a nuclear waste disposal, and that'll get me the bismuth I need. But I'll miss out on some of those other little things. Then there is the short-lived, which you can do the same thing with. This one gives plutonium, though. Ah, dang it. I just screwed up my whole thing. Anyway, point is, I can get bismuth from the current rods that I've got. If it's barely depleted, what's the chance of waste? Not high at all. 9% and 13% as opposed to 24 and 34. And we want these. I just want to use the Silex, really. This is only a quarter of the way depleted, and it's been like... oh yeah, because I believe I bugged the game out when I reloaded it. So there's just this big bar of unrendered chunks. I had to go around it to actually do anything. Not a big deal, but just kind of annoying. We've done a lot of exploring, though. Some meteors, I believe a lighthouse. I didn't touch the lighthouse because the last one I went to was pretty bad. There's a submarine here that I couldn't really explore too well because I couldn't see. Some meteors. Maybe some other things I missed. That's always possible. Yeah, pretty good. Found the crater and the two spaceships crashed next to each other. Not sure what the significance of this thing is. If it has any significance, could just be decorative. But I found this internal memorandum. Legal has made a breakthrough with the DLA. They've awarded us with a 45 billion GSA schedule for further procurement and research of ceralloy. Current estimates that would be at minimum of 40% profit on related operations, let alone the possibility of future contracts. Due to the confidential nature, all fiscal evidence is to remain private. Ceralloy. I bet that's part of the what's it called? The secret weapons and stuff, because there is a whole bunch of recipes that are just hidden in the mod, so I don't know what those recipes could be. I'm gonna actually add another 4 battery holders just because I want to free up some space, and at the same time, I mean, free power is free power. I might as well put these to use. And then we have our flares. Now I've got 4 of them. They're all supply airdrops. Back before I blew myself up, I had an, I believe it was a weapon airdrop, which would probably have been worse. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna shoot this over straight up, because I don't believe it like falls and hurts anything. And you know what? Just quick fire him. Perfect. There should be a 4th one. Alright, as long as they don't land anywhere and break something I don't want them to. Let's get these batteries put down. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if these are... Oh, supply, is it literally just... Canister of diesel isn't the worst in the world. Radaway's kind of good. First aid kit. And oh, that's from the zombie problem. Diesel generator. These things suck, by the way. Unless they were made better, I don't know. Emery's kind of trash. Radaway's good. A canister of diesel is alright. Not bad for those. I've just remembered I have a ton of crates to open up, so we're going to open up these as well. Alright, nothing crazy. Just a bunch of grenades and syringes, because that's normal. And then we have the hazmat crates. Speaking of hazmat crates, plutonium RTG pellet, 15 rads a second. Standard, oh, plutonium bar. Just natural plutonium. I don't think that's easy to get. Okay, a bunch more stuff. Uranium fuel, plutonium, yellow cake? That is very loud for something that's not that dangerous. Alright, let me put this stuff away. It's very loud. Yeah, unfortunately, no dungeons, but I'm probably just going to research that stuff. There doesn't seem to be any easy way to find what I'm looking for, so I'll just throw this on the floor. I don't need them. We've got some more boron from a couple of those treasure blocks that I saw, as well as enough steel to make quite a lot of progress on our RBMK. Yeah, thanks to exploring, by the way. Wasn't actually doing anything productive here, and it wasn't like just slaving away at a crafting interface, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, 30% depletion. It's good, but it's not great. I need to close off this reactor, put everything away, and redo everything. But that requires a 4th turbine. I've already got 23 columns. That's huge. That's enough to like kind of square off what I've currently got. I'll have to break everything down, make a bunch... Oh, steam channels. that is my update. Those are my plans. We are getting a lot of these columns, though, which is exciting because it means we can start building the reactor. While I did have enough structural columns to build out the reactor, I didn't have enough copper for the steam channels, and I didn't have enough boron for the fuel channels. So my first fix was upgrading my main acidizer. I believe I made a tier 2 effectiveness upgrade and a tier 2 speed upgrade, which despite the power this machine now took, I could easily sustain it thanks to my new reactor. And it allowed me to crystallize raw ore much faster, allowing me to obtain more of what I needed. Now, boron was a little more annoying to obtain. The main way I knew of getting it was through rare earth metals, but I had ran out of those at this point. So my other solution was to use borax in an arc furnace. I knew of a bedrock ore vein of this stuff in my mine, so I used that and was able to solve my material shortages pretty easily. By day 250, I was ready to rebuild and use this reactor to its current full potential. Perfect. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lithium-ion batteries. 6 times 18 is 90. 108. That's 1.8 billion power. 2 billion power. No, like 1.9 billion. Not bad at all. I have 36 bars of boron. I don't even know if I need the boron quite yet. So I've been planning on how to redo this reactor, or at least expand upon it. I think the current like central setup's pretty good. I made a ton of steam channels because if I make this larger, I need steam to be captured, or I need cooling to be everywhere on the reactor, not just in the center. I'm not sure what efficiency means. I believe the wiki said something like you can double the ore output or like make extras from one, but so far every time I've been over here it's only made one. It takes 6 times the power, which 6,000 per tick is kind of nothing for the system as it currently is. Of course, I want to have more upgrades and more acidizers. I also want to be able to reliably run the FEL, and then I want to run the... I need to weld plates, technetium plates. These are used in a lot of things, including like the really big control units, which I use for nuclear bombs and stuff. I need to make the big tank 9,000. I don't know what YouTube likes or doesn't like, so I'm gonna refrain from saying things that I shouldn't. Makes the plasma generator, plasma whatever the heck, ICF laser capacitor, and yeah, the Watts reactor needs this stuff. So does the PWR. These take a little bit of power, like a whole 1.2. Gosh, I know how to carry zeros over, but this is awful. Okay, I'm dumb. It's 1.2 billion power to make a single plate. Currently, I have 12 steam channels. What I want to do with those is, well, first I need to explain what I want to do. What I want to do is put rods in the corners to kind of square this off. I believe if there's rods bouncing on this section, or bouncing neutrons in these sections, as well as the center, I did make 8 reflectors for each of the corners, and those, I still have the ones here, so it'll reflect all the neutrons. Steam channels, I've got 12, so that's 3 for each side, which means something like 2 at the corner. Okay. 2 at the corners of each, and then 2 maybe like here and here. Or maybe I'll make another set of 4 and then put 3 in the center and 2 on the sides. And then the control rods I'll have probably for the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the corners. So I'll probably block off the corners at least. They'll still like bounce neutrons around, but it won't be like meltdown worthy reactions, especially with the center being blocked and the corners being blocked. Whatever happens here won't, or with this rod, won't do anything, it won't do anything dangerous. Anyway, all this talking is to stall, because I like stalling. It's the only way to keep things interesting. I think I'm ready to take this thing apart. Right, 5 more, there we go. Okay, I can actually work on this. The last thing I'm going to do is finalize the fluid ducts. I just need a couple more. Reactor's cold. I should be safe to take this apart completely. Oh, I forgot I have absorbers in here too. I could have saved some boron using those. I honestly might turn those into control rods. All it takes is like 2 graphite bars and 2 motors. And I fell. Forgot I don't have the other armor on. Yeah, we're not dealing with the nuclear stuff quite yet. And these are so difficult to break. I'm not sure why. Out of all the things, like, I can break the rods like it's nothing, but the steam connectors are like a big deal. And with this expansion, another thing I want to do is actually make this a whole lot deeper, seeing as I have like this big thing that I have to walk up. I think it'd be pretty cool to see this kind of indented into the ground a little bit. It'll look a lot nicer too. I won't have to build this big thing to climb on top of. And plus, I think that's how it is anyway, to my knowledge from pictures I've seen. It's, well, from the picture that I've seen of a RBMK reactor, which was once, they kind of have like a huge hangar. Not a hangar, but like a big room, and it's not lifted, it's just the floor. It's part of the floor. So I want to design it kind of like that. So a rod is 4 blocks tall, deep. Do I want it to be a part of the floor though? Or maybe like 1 block up. It'll have like a stair, and you can like walk up and just look at the whole array of everything. Yeah, I think 1 block up. So right here will be the base of our reactor. It's gonna have to be pretty deep because I also would like to access the underside to reach the outlets. I'll have like a little underground section. Now, I don't know how many more in-game days this is gonna take. Probably more than I'd like it to. Get over here. However, before the end of this video, because I'd like to at least show something that isn't totally crafting related, I would like to launch that nuclear missile. I have the launch code and I have the launch key. Okay, can we actually work on this now? It's so eerie seeing this stuff just kind of dead. All right, let's just start with the basics. A reflector. Good old reflector. Then I had a blank here, but I don't think I need the blank. I think I can just put the fuel channel. Then past the fuel channel is a moderator, then a control rod, then another fuel channel. Seems like a good setup. Collects neutrons, makes neutrons, gets hot, turns them into slow neutrons, passes them to this fuel channel. Now, again, this will block off here, but I'll need control rods on these sides. For now, actually, though, did I have a space in the middle? How many? I've got 16 structural. How do I have 60? Oh, I broke down the last re. Gosh, that scares me. It shouldn't break anything because I do have the charm of protection. So I'm not sure if I want a space in between. Nah, we'll do it. We'll do it as it is. We'll make it condensed. Oh, but something about heat spreading is like a whole thing in here. So I'm not sure actually. Control rods, moderators. So kind of standard to what we did last time, except this time I kind of know how the heat is supposed to transfer. So I'm just condensing it a little more. Because back then I thought it was kind of the placement, but it just turns out that the beryllium rod is just garbage. Steam channels. I made 20 of them. Just kind of building concrete so I can see. So here in the center, we'll have 1, 2, and 3 on all 4 corners. Like so. So now we've got 12 steam channels in the center, and then I should have 8 remaining. You following along? Good, because I am a professional and you should trust what I'm about to do. With complete loyalty. That's the word, I'm sure. We need rods in the corners. It feels very compact, and I don't know if that's bad or good for my reactor, but I don't care. What matters is more power. And that's kind of just what we're going for. So here in the corner will be another fuel channel. There's no way this goes good or ends well. Now, I have put the corner pieces. These corner pieces need their respective reflectors. Is that right? I think so. So reflectors on the outer edges, which is kind of why I broke this. So now these have reflectors on all of the outer edges. And what is it, the moderator? And then I actually have... I have a lack of critical thinking skills or something, actually. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. So the moderators are in place. And we want control rods. And now the zombies have started spawning. I want the control rods in these gaps where the moderators are staying. Gosh, I wish it wasn't. I think I can... So that's the current layout. I've got another 8 channels. I'm not sure where I want these to be. I want to capture heat, and I want to make sure I don't overheat the reactor. The smart spot would be here, but I feel like there's already these 3. So I kind of want to put them here at the edges. Or maybe that's not smart. You know what? How about this? I will compromise with myself. I don't think it's possible for me to... Yeah, I can't get to the very bottom. So I'm going to fill these corners in for 4 each. And, oh, but if the reflectors are here, it doesn't generate a lot of heat towards the edges. But I can't afford another 4 steam channels because I'm kind of just broke. So, we'll just fill in the corners of these insides then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, and then do one right there. How are we looking? Yeah, because if I wanted to put them out here, which would probably also be not a bad idea. I mean, if I had infinite resources, I'd replace every little bit of structural column with the turbines, but I don't. So I think this is fine. There'll be steam channels basically wrapping every single rod. We'll put it to ultra dense so they can heat up as much as possible. Ooh, you know what I realized? How is power generation going? Are we not draining? Well, we are barely being surrounded by zombies again. Oh, thank you for the steel sword. I do like the torches underneath. They give it a subtle glow. Like what are that was 50 damage I just did to that guy. The plant scared me. They do so much damage. Look at that guy. I'm dead. No, I'm not. I need to stop freaking out when that stuff happens. I'm dead. I get hit once and I've already given up. Okay. I do need to heal before I am actually dead, though. Steel. How much steel do I have? I have enough steel. I'm going to, despite my previous words. Just because I'm going to hate myself if I don't do it. Steel tanks. Steam channels. I need 4 of these. Alright, there's 4 of those. And then these steam channels. So 4, 8, 12, 16 copper and 16 steel. Does the steel get plated? Yes. Plated steel. We managed, despite my complaining, to make 4 steam channels. Which means something. I'm going to fill these spots. These inner spots, actually. Because it'll get hottest around here. Maybe. I don't know. Just more steam channels means more ability to process stuff. I might have enough columns, assuming I didn't just put that one somewhere randomly. Nope. Enough columns to square off my reactor. Check that out. This is awesome. So, quick rundown for people who care to know. Actually, I'll wait for this to work. If this works, then actually, if I cover it, then you won't know. So maybe I just take the boron from these rods and I make them all glass panels so I can describe it if it works, and that way you'll still be able to see the process. So, stack of boron and the 8 rods. Here we go. I am not liable for any meltdowns, okay? If you blow something up, that is your fault, not mine. Because I may blow something up. Looks pretty smart, I think. And the first thing I'm going to do is set all of these one group. That's not how you do that. Apologies. You right click. They don't need a different group, right? And then there's a button to cycle steam channel compressor settings. So what I want to do here, so I'm not forgetting and anything, is select all of the boilers and bring them to ultra dense, which is when the little white square goes to the bottom and becomes a pink square. That's like 1,000,000 water. I hope that the tank is capable of cycling through that. If not, I'm going to have to like shut this off and wait till I get the big tank installed. That, or I'll have to limit the amount that gets boiled with the use of the control rods, which obviously are here to do exactly that. Speaking of control rods, I take back what I said. There is a chance that there will be vast temperature differences between the corners and the center, so we'll make those purple. I like that color. So the outer ones will be purple, inner ones will be red, because safety. These are all set to ultra dense steam, and we just want to hook them all up. I believe one's back here. Yep. Make sure not to forget any of them. So that's 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 3, 4. Should be all of them. And then I've got 24 steam connectors. Starting with the outer ones, so I don't forget anything. And also, for safety, I'm going to connect these on the sides. And quite frankly, just connect them together in general in an even fashion because I like it. It looks nice. Why wouldn't you do that? Like this, and then while that's up there, shift right click, and it's all water. Perfect. And now we just need, or where these little squares are, our boilers. And that is all 24 of those. I'll do my best to work through the zombies. If it gets annoying, I'm gonna have to sleep again. No matter what, though, this reactor will be nearly finalized before the end of the video, so we kind of want to do what we just did, but this time underneath all of our channels, whatever these are called, little adapters. That way I get all this right. Oh, yeah, look at that, I'm already forgetting stuff. That guy just spawned out of thin air. Because of course you can do that, zombie. Connect these. Looks to be fairly central, even, and I should be able to just do that. Put them all to ultra dense. Make sure they're all connected, because if they weren't connected, that'd be kind of devastating for me. But yeah, that's it. That is the reactor hooked up in its entirety. Now we just need to set up the outlet for water. There will be like I guess stairs surrounding this whole thing. Just like a little lip to surround it. So I want this to come out right here. Get back the water identifier, turn this whole thing to water. It doesn't clear what's already been set to something else, so I shouldn't have to worry about it messing with the ultra dense. Granted, they're not connected in any way, so that doesn't matter. Do I have a full tank? I do. And I need this thing to kind of just fill up as much as possible. Then the exact same thing here. Get anything, make that ultra dense. That ultra dense. And there is that cover, which goes, as you already know, there. Wrap into there. Super dense, regular, low pressure. So I will quickly hook that up. Ultra dense goes into here. Super dense goes into here. It makes dense, which goes into here. Which makes regular, which goes to here. Goes to the cooling tower, recycles back into here, which is currently filling up as much as possible. Because once this turns on and these start actually boiling, they're going to take a ton of water. So for the first little while, I need as much water in a cycle as possible. I don't even know if this one cooling tower is enough. So I might have to make more, which means I'll need more steel, which means I'll have to explore more. Also, it's day 357, but that is the lines hooked up. I could actually, I think, just start this once I put the rods where they need to be. So if you were interested in making this amalgamation, I did kind of just go over the bottom. So the bottom is really simple. It's just everywhere where there's a steam channel, you put a water pipe, the connector, then an ultra dense. Then you connect all the ultra dense pipes together and you connect all of the water pipes together. You don't have to make it pretty, I just made it pretty for me. Then here at the top, I have control rod surrounded by 4 control rod. I have a fuel channel surrounded by 4 control rods. Those are surrounded by 4 moderators, which are surrounded by 4 more fuel channels. Then at each of these fuel channels, there is 2 moderators and then 2 control rods. That's the same for each of these corners. And at the outer edges, there is reflectors. And just a ton of steam channels in the center. You could fill in every single one of these blank spaces with a steam channel. You could even do the outer perimeter with steam channels. I don't have that kind of metal output, so this is it. Yeah, all the control rods are down. This should be safe to go. However, I want to make plutonium rods, plutonium RBMK rods. Medium enriched follows a function of square root x times 35 divided by 10. Because medium enriched uranium is medium logarithmic. Medium enriched plutonium, I think it's fine. We're gonna mix and match. I'm not scared. Only a little. A lot. This is like my entire playthrough's work here. Make 4 medium enriched plutonium rods. Like, what are you doing, game? Nuh-uh. What are they doing? You done nodding your head at me? Not scared. Only a little bit. You could end this whole run. I hate this game. You kill them and they're like, hey, we're gonna play a prank on you. And the zombies are just so fast. I came here to build reactors, not play a horror game. Look at that. It's as if I planned it. Not really, it's a 9x9 square, which means 36 on the sides and then 4 for the corners, which is 40. Okay. Cover panels. unfortunately don't cover the sides, but as long as there's something on the top, they don't leak, so all good for me. I think that's it. I believe this reactor is officially made. I don't know. I think it's done. All that's left is to test it. The water's hooked up. Steam is hooked up properly. Heads to the big tower in the center. Everything is, as of currently, sealed. So I'm going to make a backup, and you should as well if you have attempted this disgusting thing. Or don't. I mean, maybe you want it to blow up. First things first. Where are you? Oh, it's cooling down. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. Open up the thing all the way. Then we'll take our almost depleted rod. I can hold it. It's just annoying. It won't be annoying for you, but it just... yeah. And I literally just swap them. Now, is this a smart thing to do? And again, it should chain react. It's an exponential... Nuclear fission is like a multiplying reaction as long as the rod has life in it, whatever that life is. I think it's just like, as long as it's not depleted, it will exponentially multiply with the rods surrounding it. So these should heat up quite a bit. Not much other ways to do that though. These could probably be messing with it too. Speaking of those, purple group, 25%. How's the heat looking? That's very hot. That's extremely hot. That is still going up. Okay, please slow down before you kill me. I think it's too late. Oh my gosh. Literally jumped up to like 2000 something Celsius. Oh boy. Okay. All right, now it's going down. Wow. A little bit more careful with this one, it seems. Let's try 15. It's a good thing we separated them. Look at the temp. This thing's going crazy. It's a good thing we put the control rods. I see why they're needed, because if I had to control only the center, I would have lost this reactor already. That's sitting at 1900. It's getting extremely hot, but that's kind of what we want. I reckon once it hits 600, I bet that's it. Once this hits 600, the core temp will kind of stabilize, and then I'll be able to run it even hotter, and at that point, the steam channels are working to cool this down. Which we will see momentarily. But these have to reach 600 C first. According to our graph, 2000 degrees, I want to see the plutonium rods. So that should be plutonium rod temp, and then I want to see the uranium rods and their average temperatures. But what is power looking like? 20%. What about you? You're bottlenecked. Yeah, I think I need, I'm gonna have to turn this thing off. It can't keep up with the low pressure steam. I bet if I take this out, this is gonna deplete pretty quick. So we're gonna have to cool this thing down, unfortunately, or power it down, unless I can make a secondary cooling tower. So if you want to do what I just did, very smart, by the way, very intelligent, never done before, you're gonna have to recycle some more steam. Again, it holds up to 3 million. It'll be fine. It's outputting roughly 4 times the power output that it did before. And for the temps that we're currently running, I'm gonna have to draw. It's such a shame. I'm gonna have to close this thing down though, for now. So, purple. This is very smart. 0. Red, 0. Close off the Plutonium rods first. Xenon poisoning skyrockets, but I don't think it ever tops out. Zombies are already here. Yeah, that worked. I think that's incredible. No one can match my genius now. Unfortunately, it needs another cooling tower, which I can actually put really quick. I want to see what it'll make at its peak, but it's kind of in the position that the Xernox is, in that I can really shut it down and power it back up as I need it to. I reckon it'll supply me welding some technetium plates now. But yeah, that's the Xernox. Xernox. That's the RBMK. You can make it bigger. You can put different, more volatile rods in there. You can install an irradiation chamber or whatever it's called. I will need one of those, by the way, for my meteorite sword and for other things. But for now, I'd say it's pretty good. With my new reactor expansion, I ran back into the problem of not having enough resources to do anything. So I got back to mining. I think this was the first time mining with this Trenchmaster armor, and with the haste, jump boost, and fall damage nullification, it was rather easy to navigate caves and quickly get the stuff I needed. I found another red lockbox, and as it turns out, they break incredibly easy with my pickaxe, which is unfortunate if you want to mine quickly. I also found a dungeon with a bunch of cracked red keys, which was also nice for the lockboxes I just destroyed. After a good trip with mining, I went back up to the surface and set up a new and improved Chicago pile. Now that I understood flux a little better, I could see the use of such a thing. With this setup, I could easily get enough plutonium to sustain my RBMK and whatever else I wanted. With the surplus of mined metals, I made a second cooling tower and wanted to show its installation so that you could see the improvements it made to power. Okay, I don't even know if 2's enough, but I'm gonna find out. All we need to do... Where's that identifier? There it is. Is add a second cooling tower. Now, I don't even know, and this should be fine. I don't even know if this, what's it called? If 2 towers is enough. Cooling towers anyway. That's, I don't know. There we go. A little bit away because I am going to gate this off, and it'll be simple enough to just connect. I can connect the low pressure steam. I just hope 2 is enough. I'm not sure if it is. I think that's fine. A little weird, but when has any of these builds not been weird? Or when have any of these builds not been weird? I know proper grammar. Now this should be twice as much cooling. Oh, these have already filled up. What about you? You're also filled, which means that all of these should be filled. I think we're okay to start again. This is how much power we're draining. I don't know how. Oh, it's per second. Okay, I see now. Because that is 7,000 per tick on the acidizer. There's 2 acidizers. So that'd be 8,000 per tick, about 32,000 on those alone. I'm not sure where the rest of the power is going. Probably to the centrifuges enriching the uranium. But I have found this to be, if I've got a hand drill, like I did these this morning. The ones in the center, like by the end of the day, are already done, and the ones out here take a little longer. It's not a big deal. Yes, so I'm gonna take these 4. Put it to 50%. See how temperatures go. I mean, as far as I know, this first setup doesn't really hurt. And all it has to do is just start bouncing around electrons. As far as the math that I know, I can literally just swap these out. And if I increase this red group to 100, which I'm going to, I may have messed something up. Why would it go down? And so I guess I'll leave it, leave the rods all the way dropped and then swap them. I'm not sure why it would drop, even though it's at 50%, and even if I dropped or brought it up to 100, it went down instead of up. Don't know why that's the case. Maybe that's a mod thing, maybe that's just a real life thing. I just think that if I let all the neutrons through from the center rod, that the reaction should escalate upon itself, even if I don't have the self-igniting rod, if that makes sense. As of currently, I have the uranium rod in there. I can't imagine what a full plutonium setup does, but I do want to deplete these uranium rods. This one is 35% of the way there, and they should go by a lot faster. Now it's the scary one, which is the purple group. I hear a zombie. Let's do 15. And see what happens. Oh, it stopped raining. I can think. And here. Where are you? All the way back there. 1,000 degrees. 1,200. Flux. I'm assuming this is flux. That makes the most sense to me. Jumped to 310. Reactor's still warming up though, so not gonna get any results until this stuff heats up. It heats up a lot slower than I thought it would. Although maybe that's because of how this is currently going. I could imagine the laws you have to be breaking to even be walking in the vicinity of a reactor like this. These zombies just don't care. Columns are heating up, and I'm too scared to bring this past. I reckon it could go to like 2,000 degrees, but the issue isn't the rods, it's the cooling, the cycling. I can also take my oh wow, words. I can take my auxiliary towers. I know it's only gonna be 1,000 each, but that'll be like a 10% increase. Because I do have the resources to make another tower, but it's 2 stacks of iron in terms of the 64 plates and the 64 bars of steel for the condenser. Oh, look, another silo code. We're gonna change purple to 20. We're at 15, right? Yeah. Should be the same we did oh, look at that. Another 50 flux added the cycle. Which means these should get, okay, 2,000 plus degrees. What I want to see, if the zombies will let me, is once the turbines start spinning, does this temperature stagnate at all? It's going up slower, but that could just be it leveling out. Alright, 2170. 2172. Well, I'll tell you what. We seem to just perfectly. For now, anyway. Not sure if it goes up depending on the amount of heat in here. But we seem to be... Well, yeah, if I go any faster, it will result in the cooling towers not keeping up. So we could put the auxiliary cooling towers next to those. And it'll look a little cooler-ish, I guess. While allowing me to drop these rods a couple percentage points more. Now, I don't know why it is as hot as it is. I guess in a real world situation, you would never have the rods dropped completely. Or maybe you would. But at 20%, they're already at like 500 degrees below meltdown. Now, going to that temperature doesn't mean they'll blow up, at least according to the wiki. It just means that they will start to offload abnormal amounts of heat, something like that. Is this day? It's day 364. Not bad. Not terrible. I'd like to expand the bedrock processing, but I think I might need the space fork for that because it's a lot more convenient. There's something about setting up those refineries on planets and getting like specific ores that you need and stuff. I don't know. How are we looking here? It's stagnant. So I'm going to put this up a little more. As soon as the zombies decide they're done for today or tonight. I don't know, it's already daytime. Let's do 25. 25%. Let's drop it to 22. I like 22. Because I don't trust that core temperature at all. I will say we're producing, in the beginning we produced, I believe, 14 to 15k, 15,000 energy out of this one. Now it's at 72. So we're all running at a quarter of capacity, which is pretty good. I'm trying to think on what I want to do. I have power. Realistically, I think, oh wow, this thing's done already. I'm kind of just stuck here until this reactor decides to give me rods to recycle. I'm gonna look into maybe getting more channels here in basically every empty slot. I think that'll improve cooling. Of course, maybe because I did kind of just make this on my own, there is the chance that I'm not doing this in the right way. And I mean, maybe I'm not. I don't really care. It seems to be working. But core temperature is what you are worried about, right? I maybe I have to read into that. Maybe the core can go to meltdown. It's just as long as the skin temperature doesn't go all the way up. I don't know. It seems that I have stopped at 2514. I'm going to risk it, like all smart people do, and hit 25. Now we're charging roughly... And you have to remember, we're charging this much while also draining power from that. So it's probably like an upcharge of like 200 to 300,000 per second on energy, which isn't great. I know this can go to like 1,000,000 per second or even way higher if you know what you're doing. I reckon with plutonium rods in the center and sides, I'd probably get that. But I do want to deplete this fuel rod, and it is going decently quick. But I don't know. Maybe I'll look into the core temperature because I would like to run these hotter if I can, just so I can deplete them. Maybe I might look something up, see how I can deplete them as quick as possible, because I would like to get to bismuth, because that is how we progress. This is my bottleneck, if you will. I'm kind of stuck waiting for this to deplete. You know what I just realized, and I'm gonna hate myself for this. I apologize. Oh no. It's not that bad. Okay, listen. I just said I wasn't in it for the power. I'm gonna someone's gonna kill me. Guess what? Turns out I'm not making 300,000 per second. I'm making whatever this number is times 6, except for this lead acid battery. 300,000 times 1.5 million per second. That sounds a little more reasonable. I can't believe I forgot that. It's a good thing I looked. I kind of believed it was running the way it was. That is great to know, though. Wow. I'm sorry about that. But looks like we'll be running way better. Did that change my temperatures at all? No. Alright, okay. I need to learn how to conclude a little better. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to look into setting up either the bedrock ore processor or going out and finding dungeons. And if I can't do that, then I'm going to see how I can quickly cycle and break down rods for the potential to get bits of waste to turn into bismuth. That seems to be my only avenue to progress. Otherwise, I'm kind of just on my own doing whatever. So I will see you when I figure out how to do something new and or interesting. So after a bit of research, I learned of a few ways to get bismuth aside from how I was waiting to get it now. One of these ways was with fast breeder rods, which were rods dedicated to depleting themselves to give you the materials you would need, and they were these bismuth fast breeder rods I could make. The problem with this is that I obviously needed bismuth in the first place, so I wasn't doing that anytime soon. Another way to get bismuth was through bedrock ore processing, but you had to clean, I believe, heavy or light metal bedrock ores with a high performance solvent. And to get that, I needed reformate. But guess how I could get reformate? with a catalytic reformer which needed bismuth to make. So I was stuck waiting on these uranium and plutonium rods to deplete in hopes that I could get to the progression I wanted to get to. Since I had time to kill and priorities I would need to focus on, I decided to work on the survey scanner for the bedrock ore. At the time, I didn't know this attached to a satellite, but I spent a few days working on this thing, making tons of circuit boards. With the circuits made, however, I wasn't willing to build this satellite head quite yet, as I was unaware of its actual use. Instead, I wanted to settle something I had with a certain boss of this mod for about 150 days now. I wanted to fight the Gas Mask Man. But I didn't have the weaponry to reliably fight him, so I spent my free time setting up a rotary furnace, a structure that could make weapon steel, but also Saturnite when I could ever get my hands on some reformate. With the weapon steel, I decided on making a 50 cal sniper rifle using depleted uranium for its bullets. On top of that, I used the ferrouranium I made a while back to upgrade the rifle's receiver and other parts, increasing its durability and damage, making this rifle do over 50 damage per shot, which was incredible. Next, I needed to be slightly irradiated and wait underground. With a 1/3 chance of spawning every hour, I would need some luck to get a chance to fight him. Oh yeah. I'll show you Victim Mask Man. I was just about to get off too. How far am I from home? Ah! Oh my gosh. Got me pausing the game. Alright, Mask Man. I've been waiting a whole hour and a half. Not down here, but just recording overall. Okay. Okay, I don't know how much time I have. I don't know how good this is gonna go. Probably not good at all. However, I don't care. I'm gonna make a backup so I don't have to wait that long, so you don't have to wait that long. If I die immediately, I'm just going to not attempt it at all. But I think we're pretty set. I got a ton of chrysotile. I'm never gonna have to worry about asbestos again. I'm gonna make all the insulation I want. I'm missing something, maybe. I had a stim pack, I put that away. Whatever, dude. If we die, we die. If we don't die, that's good. I will just go home. And run. I don't know where he is, but at the same time... Oh, this is the dumbest thing ever. Where are you at? Better not be in my base. I'm gonna be mad. Waited all that time just for him to be... How do I aim again? Oh, I really should have made it mouse button 5, not 4. Where are you? Oh my goodness, he's shooting at me. I'm running away. Where are you? Played enough FPS games to know how this works. Oh my gosh, the sensitivity multiplier on that is horrid. Am I keeping my distance? Yes, I am. I'm scared. He's in the trench, isn't he? He's in the ditch. Hey, you. Oh my gosh, I just whiffed that one. Check this out. I am ripping into... I just hit a concrete pillar. That is not the guy I'm trying to shoot. Dude, look at the amount of damage I'm doing to this guy. He doesn't stand a chance. Oh, he actually hurts, though. What an unfortunate circumstance for you. Look. I just no-scoped nothing. Weren't you supposed to, like, drop stuff out of the sky or something? Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm on a heart. Where's your stuff? Okay. That's a little cheap, maybe. I don't care. Give me cloud in a bottle. Maskman coin. That went way better than I thought. I guess the guide Not that I really read a guide. I guess in terms of like preparation, kind of lied about the whole requirements. I think if you just keep your distance and you got a a um a 50 cal launching depleted uranium, a 50 caliber 50 BMG, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I don't. Man, that was scary. Clickable chest plates, slot chest plate, double jump, horizontal dashes. How do I do that? Even more stuff to clutter my HUD. UI, whatever. Get rid of that. Was here for the Mask Man coin. I actually need to do that again, I believe. Yeah, I need to make the large silver key, fight this guy, which I can fight if I wanted to, but dude, this Mask Man almost killed me. He hit me once and I was down to, I don't know what he hit me with. One shot brought me down 2 hearts, the next brought me down 8. Pretty strong, pretty easy, though. Not sure what I'm gonna do with the coin. Wow, though, it said he had 1,000 health. I feel like I did way more damage. Absolutely annihilated him. Anyway. In terms of anything else, I've got nothing. I have another red key and a red box. I've been breaking those quite a bit. I'm actually going to go down because if there's the slightest chance that for some reason he spawns again, that'll just be good for me to get the second key that I need, and then I won't have to worry about this guy again. Oh wow, these inserts don't take much at all. Only brought it down 6 HP. But yeah, without that insert, I would have died. So it is good that I went ahead and made the extra stuff. I do have the bottle of Scrumpy. Don't know what that means. Hopefully it's not something bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go open this thing. Oh my gosh, I forgot shifting is a dash. Train car. Is this the... Oh, back when I played the Parasite mod, I'm gonna bet this is a rocket. And there's a secret door too. Oh, just a boxcar. What do I do with a boxcar? Or are you just gonna hide that recipe from me? Thermonuclear bomb. Legendary rarity. Aw, man. Mind, I need some special item, and I need star metal. What am I saying? This one came with pillars. Very nice. Of course, I'm here for this. Because this gives me more things of which I cannot obtain. Like selenium steel, which I believe is what it is. 4 pieces. Another tablet. Oh my gosh. It's like it was made to be. Okay, that's pretty good. I can actually, assuming that the recipes maybe follow some sort of linear, I guess, pattern. Maybe there might be 2 more star metals and 2 more welded plates. Unless you do have to figure it out with more recipes. I don't know, but I do have 3 more pedestals. I'm not sure if that's enough. However, it is incredibly lucky that the upgrade, or whatever this weapon is upgraded with the weapon that we used to take down our first big boss. Okay, before this video continues, I have to make an announcement of sorts. Back when I was editing, I may have accidentally deleted every recording that I had in relation to this video. And while I was able to somewhat salvage all of the deleted files, one of them I could not save, and unfortunately that part starts here. There isn't much that was lost, but I did my best to summarize and recreate what I did in this part. I'm very sorry that I made a mistake as dumb as this, but at the very least it wasn't the most interesting part of the video, so I'll retell it as a summary like all of these voice overlays that I do. So after defeating the Gas Mask Man, I had absolutely zero idea as to what I should do next, and because my patience was running thin, I decided to move over my FEL and the pair of Silexes I had built, and began to break down the uranium rods I had, starting with the most depleted one first. By breaking these rods down, I would get nuclear waste that I could run through the Silex to get the bismuth I would need. However, with the first pieces of nuclear waste I got, I put them into the silex before allowing them to decay. This resulted in me getting resources that I didn't really want, but they would be useful later on. Because of this, I then decided to take the rest of the nuclear rods, which were barely depleted, and broke all of those down as well. With the waste from those rods, I let it sit in a nuclear waste barrel to allow it to decay. And by placing those decayed pieces of waste in the silexes, I was finally able to get bismuth. While this was great, it wasn't enough bismuth to make the 4 integrated circuit boards I would need to make the vacuum refinery or catalytic converter. And I couldn't make the fast breeder rods for more bismuth, as those required 8 nuggets to make 1 rod, and I couldn't mine it from bedrock ore either because of the lack of reformate. So I worked on trying to expand my RBMK's cooling. I figured if I could weld technetium plates, I could make an even larger water tank that would make sure the reactor could never run out of water. However, this also didn't work because I could not get my machinery to weld the plates, as there wasn't enough power being actively supplied to my welder. I made some more battery racks and capacitors. I don't show it here, but I made like 8 of these niobium capacitors, and it still wasn't enough. The smart way of doing this would have been to get tantalum capacitors, but tantalum's recipe required bismuth in the form of high-performance solvent. The other way was by using coltan, but that recipe looked way too complicated for me to want to mess with. All of that to say that I just waited around for a while. I took a trip to the Australium ore vein, with there being only one in the entire world, and me having time to kill. I went there and mined it out, although I don't remember how useful it is or will be. After wanting to make more flux in my reactor so that the rods could deplete faster, I realized my steam turbines were topped out, and if I wanted to speed this up, I would need a better solution. That solution came in the form of Leviathan steam turbines, and if I wanted this to work, I needed to make 4 of them all at once. It's been about an hour, 50 minutes, and I've just been making stuff, which is the best way to put this. I have been crafting everything on this recipe list for about, well, an hour. So I have enough to make 4. And yes, I'm kind of doing everything at the same time. I want to get this all set up, and then I'm also going to look at the Doomsday device, set up a detonator, probably get like a couple POVs. So 16 steel plates for each. Welded steel plates at that. That's, I think, 6 stacks of steel. 3 turbines. 3 titanium steam turbines. 5 reinforced turbofan blades. 16 high-speed steel pipes. 6 high-speed steel shells. 16 regular steel pipes. And then 12 titanium plates. Beryllium flywheel. 16 technetium steel. Which, you know, it's at least I decided to work on that. And I believe this equates to, it's 48 per Leviathan turbine, so it should be 196 total. Dense gold wire. This was really nice because it actually let me use some of my tungsten and titanium. Like, I'm talking like half a stack of blocks. It is a disgusting machine to make. Look at that list. But I have over-prepared, and I should be able to make 4 of them right away. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Alright. And I move so fast, it's not even funny. How big is this? I know they're not terrible. I definitely thought it'd be a little larger. Pretty nice. Now, do you fit right here? Almost perfect. What I will do is go forward 1 and off to the side so that I can route power up to my battery packs. Oh man, there's no way I'm fitting 4 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I might, but hopefully with these, I believe they don't have a limit on how much steam they intake. So unlike these that kind of top out after a certain amount of time, the Leviathan will just take as much as it can all of the time. I mean, yeah, if the wiring sticks out, it's not a big deal. Perfect. It's like I intend... wait. No, it lines up there. It doesn't line up here, though. No problem for me, I'm not complaining. But I can see the 85% efficiency. It doesn't process as well, but it processes an infinite amount, which when I fully dropped all plutonium rods, which is currently what we have, I confidently picked up all of these control rods and I almost blew up my reactor. I think that won't happen with these. I think what will happen is I'm going to need either another cooling tower or the big water tank, because I believe that holds like 1 billion as opposed to 256. 1 million or 1 billion? I think this is the equivalent of one. I'm not sure. And don't worry, I will remember to actually set the things. This is ultra dense going into super dense. Is super dense going into dense. This is dense going into regular. This is regular going into low pressure. And at that point, I believe I can outtake from that port as well. All right, does this look good? They're all hooked up. One big line heads over the steam line. And now I know I have 2 more coded cables. No in my hands, please. This has to work first try, because if it doesn't, we don't have a world anymore. So, power's hooked up. Leviathan steam turbines are ready. Cooling is attached. I love testing out new stuff. Slap you in there for like, I don't know. Oh, this is gonna make me like throw up. As it normally does. The radiation, I mean. Are we looking? Flux started and died. Probably because these rods aren't up enough. Actually, it's at 2 right now. I should be able to just, it's supposed to do a chain reaction type of thing. Generate some flux first. And then I'll think about control rods. These sat at like 60% before. I'm going to put them to 40. That way they react with the rods in the corners. And that'll set up a reaction for the central rod when I go to replace it like I am right now. Right? Are we good? We are somewhat stable. It is very quiet, and that's... Okay, that's a big number. 40%. We're about to hit 600 heat. We are hitting 600 heat. Oh, they're going. Oh, water, water, water. These things take tons of water. And I'm going to need this to run for quite a while. It's all right. Less efficient for now, but okay, so low pressure steam isn't exiting. I guess it is. What am I talking about? What if I take the water tank out? Because that was normally the issue. When the water tank was in there supplying water, it's still going up. Dang it. I'm going to need a 3rd cooling tower. Can I make that in like a night? I really think I should. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out on like peak energy and heat. Yeah, you know what? Give me like this night. I hope it'll... God, what am I doing? Go through the door. I should be safe to get the big cooling tower up and running again. It turns out I've been like always questioning where or how I could use solid fuel in all my machines. Mainly because it's kind of a pain to make. What I read about the pyrolysis oven is that, like the combination, it makes, so the coker unit isn't used to make coke, it's used to make coker gas. And the pyrolysis oven is the same concept, but it makes solid fuel instead. Which I thought was pretty cool. Coker unit, I don't really need the gas at the moment. I kind of used it for weapon steel, but the rifle I have is pretty good for now. How do I make this? I think it's in an anvil because the concrete blocks don't fit in that. All right. Luckily, able to make this with minimal effort. So that is 3. And it immediately just tops out. That is insane to me. Water should be keeping up. This should be, like, draining, though. It's not. That is 3 cooling towers, and if it really gets bad enough, I can put a 4th one. But I believe I read somewhere 3 is the max that you'll need. I had a record of, I'm assuming this is flux. 1,300 flux was how hot this got, or how active this reactor got. I'm hoping I can hit that again. Of course, I have to monitor everything. As long as there's still water in here, it's fine. It's going to be 299 by the time this reactor's good to go. We're going to go to 60%. That'll go up a little higher. This needs to pass 300,000 if I want to make the investment of these turbines worth it. But of course, that means actively monitoring all of my stuff. Not bad. Just a nice, cool 3,600 degrees. These got to 5,000 degrees before, so I know we can go hotter. I'm going to attempt that soon. I'm going to attempt that right now, actually. 70. 872 flux. Fresh feed water, that is keeping up for now. I'm going to put more water. I know that this low pressure thing fills up when I put more water, but it's got a million or a billion. I'm not sure. I can't see it. It goes off the screen. But we're officially past the 300,000 mark, which means I'm making more power than I've made ever before by like a whole 3%. You know what this means? If I can go all the way to 100, I'll be so glad. I'll be so happy. And now's where the reactor really struggles. And that is the cooling loop struggles. All right, that's about 25% faster. Day 299. I've got about 15 or so minutes to get this to a stable position. Then I need to set a place up for the Doomsday rocket to blow up. Not sure how big of a blast radius it is, but I'm gonna find out. I don't really care what I send it at. All I care about is that I blow it up and check out the crater it leaves behind. Because I do know from trying to make thumbnails that the explosions do leave behind stuff. So, you know, a Doomsday rocket's probably not making anything that exciting, but... Alright. 90. I'm only a little scared. 1232. Yeah, 1,300 flux was the new the record, because I believe that was fully dropped rods. Or fully raised control rods. I don't know why I say dropped. Alright. Full 100. All. Let's go for it. There we go. 1,436 flux. If that is flux, I still don't know. This is all I'm worried about. Is how the water handles. It is draining considerably quick, but I need it to stabilize, because the only reason it is draining is because it's flowing into here and kind of like self-regulating. Yeah, see, it's slowing down and it's gonna stop. Even these actually are intaking less low pressure steam now. They used to be taking 90, like 600, now it's just 9,000. Looks stable. I'm making almost double the amount of power I was earlier. And, by the way, I'm going to show this because, I figure, why not? Let me find these really quick. I've got these steel plates. You saw the amount of capacitors I had. This is what happens when I try to run these. It immediately tanks, and it just cannot. It cannot sustain itself. I have 2 tier 2 power saving upgrade kits, which is minus 66%. Be quiet. And that's roughly... should be like 400,000 per tick at that point. Oh my gosh. You are witnessing the greatest achievement of this entire video. I'm actually welding technetium steel plates. You don't understand the amount of days I spent on this whole thing, because they deplete power so fast. But I think because these are outputting even more power, that's kind of compensating for the lack of power entering the welder. I believe it's a welder. These are probably all draining. Not that it matters. I really don't care. I'm just glad this thing works. But like I was saying, the industrial one had 750 out of 750 in its intake, if you want to call it that, because it can only process a certain amount at a time. So it just filled up and it had like a backlog. These, it's sitting at 270 because that's what it's immediately processing, and it can just do that constantly. So here at the end, we're processing around 300,000 steam, whereas the other machine could only do 75,000 and it would be locked out of producing any more. But yeah, 470,000 at 85% efficiency as opposed to 300,000. I'd say it's pretty good. EOI. I have not been here for quite some time. It is day 300. That means I get to blow stuff up. Blow up what, though? That is what I need. I need to set up some coordinates for this thing first. I don't really care what I blow up. I just want to kind of just explode the thing. Hey guys, you're actually alive. You're actually alive this time. Current position. I didn't know I could do that. Awesome. Okay, so I don't even have to go out here. I can just type the coordinates down. All right, so I set a set of coordinates. The way it's supposed to be done is by... There was a torch with a signal on it at the bottom of this thing. And what you're supposed to do, and I'm saying this because I broke the receiver, is you're supposed to press or put an ID in here and like send the ID, send message, and it would launch the rocket, and then you like look out the window and see it fly up. I didn't do that because I'm smart. So instead, we'll put our designator. I don't want to release the missile. It is primed for launch. The launch code is ready. It's midday. Okay, I got about 5 minutes to launch this while there's still daylight. Now, I guess I'll find out the hard way if this blows it up in my face, or if it doesn't work at all. I'm gonna have to fix the redstone signal if it doesn't work. All right. There it goes. Oh, I won't see it. Oh, there. Oh, no. All right, adjacent POVs. How's it? How's it looking for the village? Look, okay. We're gonna go home. Wow. I need, why did I leave that in here? Oh, we're fine. Well, there's what I did. There's what I did render. I think I blew up a little more than just the village. That is huge. We're gonna go check it out once this cooldown's done. That's awesome. Oh, it's still spreading. Oh my gosh. How far is my base? That's how far my base is. This thing is spread about 10 chunks. All right, I'll have to be in full gear. Yeah, let me just get changed mid nuclear fallout. If it gets bad, I'll just dip out the lodestones. This is what I was talking about, though. This is obviously diamonds and emeralds. I don't really care, but They do kind of like make mushrooms. Look at that. There is no village. It's been atomized. I'm gonna sleep, and I want to check it out in the daytime. Achievement. Oh. Oh. I'm not sure if you'd call that an achievement, but all right. I will not question you, game. Hey, POI's contaminated now. I'm actually getting a little worried about how much this is spreading and continuing to spread. But, it's too late now. Let's go check it out. I did not know the mobs also throw up from radiation sickness, which would probably make sense because this is the last place you want to be. But, well, there's dead chickens. I'm sure that's good for me to eat. Can I break this? Like, there's not a penalty. It's just diamonds. My radiation is actually building up, though, surprisingly. Even at less than 1 rad per second. Okay. Yep. It is daytime, though, so I think I should be safe to put on... This kind of doubles my rad resistance and then some. I think I'm fine with this on. Oh, I expected something at the center of the pit. Although, what would I expect? I wish I could get rid of the potion effects. I can't. That will be it for this one. There is a ton of stuff we can do. There's a ton of stuff I want to do. And this Geiger counter is just so annoying. I think I'm safe for now. Be quiet. I'm hoping we can make even bigger explosives than this, which I know we can. Obviously, that comes with time and effort. And more time, really just waiting on, at this point, just the RBMK to do what it needs to do. I hope you enjoyed. I mean, that was pretty sick. I didn't even see what it looked like. I'll have to see that till, like, after the video. Or I won't be able to see that until after the video, but, yeah. If you want to see more of this mod, which, I mean, I'm probably going to play it regardless of popular opinion, you could let me know. If there's a way to make that whole bismuth escapade and, what else is an issue? Bismuth, and then perhaps bismuth. That'd be nice. I really don't know how else to make it go by faster. I believe the next step is bedrock ore processing, but of course, we need bismuth to kind of jumpstart everything. So I know we're like midway through the mod, I think. The RBMK is kind of like the big leap forward with the whole bismuth and saturnite and star metal and all that other junk. That'll do it for this video. I guess I will be seeing you all later.